Yeah.
And how did that feel different coming from him than somebody who would look at you and say, Ram Dass, stop being so angry, or be more loving?
He had said to me on Monday, he said, Ram Dass, I want you to be truthful. And Tuesday he said, come here, Ram Dass. Ram Dass, I want you to love everybody. And I said, I can't do that. That was my ego talking. And Wednesday I had a fight with the Westerners, the devotees, and I threw something, and he saw it, and he called me over, Ram Dass, Ram Dass, Ram Dass. He said, I told you to love everybody. I said, well, you told me to be truthful, and the truth is I don't love those people. Mm-hmm. And then he came up nose to nose and he said, Ram Dass, love everybody and tell the truth. You just, I was just in ego, and I looked between him and me, and there was a little coffin, and it was my old self, because the new self was somebody who loved everybody and to tell the truth. But he had stripped away my ego. He didn't strip it away. He stripped away the identification of my ego. And what did I feel? What did I feel? I felt something. I felt something. I felt something. I was insecure for a moment. Mm. Insecure because it was my whole structure was being, and didn't work. My judgments, all that. Mm-hmm. But then his love came through, and I let go of that anxiety.
Mm. Because his love was constant.
Yeah.
You didn't feel frightened, a little insecure.
Yeah. It was after the stroke. I was depressed and anxious, and my faith was gone. And I said to him, where are you when I'm going to stroke? What is it? And then his loving response I was here.
Mm.
I was here.
Mm.
I took people's fears in their heads. Oh, you've got a stroke.
Mm.
And I took that and I converted it. And it was, Maharaji was here.
Mm.
And it was the love, soul to soul, the love.
Mm.
We're getting good stuff.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
What happened finally to your perception of your father?
Well, that's an interesting story. Because it went on, when you and I had that conversation, when you suggested, I see him as my guru.
Yeah.
That was about 3 years before he died. So I had 3 years to be in his ashram, taking his teaching at a new level. And I did a couple of things. Another one that you shared with me was when he would say something nasty to me, I would try to see it as an arrow that he had shot toward me, and I would try to catch it in midair and put it down on the ground, and then I had a bucket of flowers, and I'd pick it up and hand him a flower back, all in my imagination, my visualization. And I started to see that it confused him because I wasn't reacting the way I used to react. And to cut to the chase, there was one night when I was called to come over to his apartment because he was very sick and very uncomfortable and very cranky, and his nurse called and said, you know, I'm having a really hard time with your dad. Could you come over here? So I thought, oh boy, this will be fun. So I drive over, and I come into his bedroom at his condo, and he's in a hospital bed. And he sees me, and he immediately lifts up off the pillow and starts yelling at me. You know, where are you when I need you? And you're absolutely worthless, and you know, his whole routine. And I stood there, and in that moment, after 3 years of this practice, I was able to look into his eyes, and I saw all that he was going through, you know, that he had been a successful, affluent businessman, you know, and he'd always worn expensive suits, and, you know, he the same kind of power thing that your dad had. And here he was, just a withered bag of bones, you know, lying in a hospital bed.
Yeah.
And I felt such compassion for him. And I just looked in his eyes as he was raving at me. And I just kept looking and looking, and finally I felt the heart connection. I looked and I said, I love you too, Dad. And when I said that, and it wasn't a hustle, you know, in that moment, it was just pure love. And in that moment, he relaxed. And he laid back into his pillow, and he looked up at the ceiling like he was looking up at heaven. Now, I'm standing on his right side next to his bed, and he lifts up his hand and he starts patting my left shoulder. And he's looking up at the ceiling and he's going, Good. 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 And the feeling I had in that moment was that I had just graduated.
It was great.
Like he's laying there, and I was like, I could feel him saying, thank God, I can finally die in peace. The kid finally got it. He got that it isn't about how nasty I can be.
Yeah.
It's about how loving he can be, no matter what.
Boy.
And he just softened and he beamed, and he died the next day.
Wow.
And it really felt like completion, you know. It was a level of good, good, good that I had never heard before.
Yeah. Did he say good?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just good. Good.
That's such a wonderful denouement. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Should we end?
It never ends.
That was a good ending.
Sweet. Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.